Hey everyone, my name is Claudia Alexander and I'm continuing with my new vlog series, The Day Before Sunday, in support of my blog, Culture Therapy with Claudia Alexander. And my site is a home base for artists and creatives delivering content in the areas of faith, spirituality, wellness, and artist empowerment. So thank you for joining me. And today's topic is on how to identify the difference between faith and foolishness in pursuing the creative career. And I think this is a common experience for so many artists and, walking the line between exercising faith and demonstrating common sense in pursuing the creative career and pursuing your goals and dreams as an artist, and hitting these pockets of having to make a decision on whether to double down in your craft and innovate or make changes as necessary, or just, making the decision to take another road altogether. And I think when you look at so many success stories, faith equates to the ability to give yourself permission to search the unknown. And I think, you look at, so many different stories, just for example, that's, not even art related. Let's say Benjamin Franklin and just the discovery of electricity and his role in that discovery, and the level of tests and experiments from, day to month to year after year after year. I think it really speaks to just the level and the intensity of searching that's required to realize the creative career. And there's an artist that I follow. His name is Terrace Martin, and he's an artist, a producer, musician. He has played and created for so many, and he does jazz and hip hop and so many things. Plays so many instruments. He's uber talented. But one of the things I love about his feed, his Instagram channel, is that he shares his process of searching. He practices this on a daily basis, and he'll share at times, little sections of him searching a new idea and exploring a new space. And it's just such a wonderful thing to see someone at that level of success still employing that practice of searching on a daily basis in their craft. And I think it's indicative of the level of loyalty and love that he has for his craft, and just, the reality of, having to be patient and search and be curious towards a new idea. And I've been reading Brene Brown, and she also was speaking on the importance of, curiosity in terms of overcoming failure in her book, Rising Strong. I've been reading it over the course of the summer, and I just finished it. But there's a passage that I wanted to share because I think she really hits it, 100 on, in terms of just this idea of, the importance of remaining curious as an artist, and how that helps in moving through, sections of failure in your career, and keeping you on point, or maybe just in doing that, getting on a new road, and just the searching, allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to search and be curious. And I wanted to share the passage here, and it reads, "Choosing to be curious is choosing to be vulnerable because it requires us to surrender to uncertainty. It wasn't always a choice. We were born curious, but over time, we learned that curiosity, like vulnerability, can lead to hurt. As a result, we turn to self-protecting, choosing certainty over curiosity, armor over vulnerability, and knowing over learning. But shutting down comes with a price we rarely consider when we're focused on finding our way out of pain." And, this passage, this whole book was like amazing for me, particularly this section, because it's something that I am currently grappling with, and it's really been a problem point for me that, even in therapy, beyond, whatever other problems that I've been working through, this one specific thing has been like a core problem for me, in terms of trying to identify or diagnose what my problem is, in terms of allowing myself to be curious and remain searching new roads, and whatever that has presented itself in my new road ahead. And this week was really hard for me, who isn't having a hard time right now with everything that's happening? But there's been so much change that is happening for me in different areas of my life. And it really kind of turned up for me this past week, and was just trying to juggle this, but then still hold my plans and my platform and integrity at the same time and not bail out. And so it was just a real struggle for me. I just had a birthday recently, and, with every year that passes, never mind a birthday, but just with every new year, because they're like right on top of each other, just the reel of just all the attempts and failures I've made in my craft and in different areas, and just the reels of that failure just playing back to me. And it's kind of almost like desensitized to the details. It's almost kind of slowly integrated itself into just my inside in terms of how I look at new paths, and just, not wanting to be curious. There's like a danger. There's so many things that have happened that have kind of congealed at the same time. And it's something that I've been grappling with, on top of that, with all these new things and a birthday and change and all of this upheaval. Just went to Goodwill to drop off, a huge amount of supplies from another venture that I tried, a few years ago that didn't work out. And it's kind of worlds kind of colliding and falling on top of each other in terms of just trying to move through this space. And per Brene Brown, she was talking about, being born curious, and, people talk about inner child and being curious. And it's almost like creativity to me, or just, staying on board with new things, or moving through with my craft and staying committed. It's almost like I'm not a parent, but it's almost like, I would imagine if you're a parent and you have a kid and them making a huge mess, never mind just knocking something out, like something like you walk in and they have destroyed the room. And it's kind of like what that feels like for me. Like every time I take on a new thing, like a big mess is made, and now never mind you made another mess. Now it's taking away from my itinerary for my life or for the day. If we were talking about a parent, you have a certain hit list of things you're trying to do, and now you have to stop your show to clean up a mess that your kid made. And once they're a kid and they're small, it's cute. But when they get older, it's not so cute anymore. And so there's certain things that I want to do with my day itinerary, never mind my life and experiences that I want to have. And so I find myself saying, like, go sit down, like to my creative self, like, go sit down and don't say anything, don't do nothing, just sit down and just stay there, because I got the living room just how I like it. So no. We're not going through this again and doing another new thing. So it's just been this struggle of giving myself permission, or letting the child come into another room and just, if you make another mess. But I don't know, I don't know. And I was praying about this week and just giving it some thought, particularly at the end of the week, because I was just so drained, like, I don't know anymore. And I prayed about it, like, what is the line between faith and foolishness? And the thought came to me, wisdom, particularly the Creator's wisdom. I think that is a key component in being able to make good decisions on whether to stay or to not necessarily go, but to take another road and be curious elsewhere. And, I think when it comes to wisdom, there's different levels of wisdom, but even with human wisdom, you could say that's 100. There's a lot of people who have had a lot of experiences and they ring true. But in terms of walking the line of human wisdom, there's a danger there, given that everybody's wisdom is tied into their experience. So in walking the line of human wisdom, you may be walking a path of, actions and thoughts or whatever, what have you, walking a path that doesn't ring authentic to you in terms of where you need to be or who you should become. And I wanted to share a passage in James that I think really points to the importance of walking the line of the Creator's wisdom as an artist. And it reads, James chapter 1, verse 5, and it reads, "But if any of you lack wisdom, you should pray to God, who will give it to you, because God gives generously and graciously to all." And so, this is a great scripture to remember at all times, just kind of short and to the point. It brought to mind, I was thinking about Seinfeld. If you follow me, I'm an avid fan, hardcore, but it just brought to mind this episode, I think it's season 3, where Jerry has an overdue library book, and the New York library calls him and is giving him the business about, you got a debt to pay. And he just thinks it's ludicrous because the book is like 15 or 20 years, overdue. And so they're like, you better write a check. And Jerry's on the phone like, let me speak to the head librarian. And I think per this, this passage, to me, it just reads, let me speak to the head librarian of creativity, of life, of everything. I'm going to speak to the creator who's omniscient, who's the head librarian of everything. He knows everything. So let me just start there. And I think there are advantages to that. You can salvage your resources and time in terms of making better decisions when you're walking in the line of his wisdom and being able to determine whether you should stay or go in something. And B, I think it also really helps you to become more self-aware of the decisions or the choices you're making towards your craft to remain in something or to leave it or abandon it. And not necessarily abandon, but take another road. And self-awareness in allowing yourself to come under the light of God's truth and objectivity, not judgment, but objectivity, truth, and love, to really get down to the motives of your decision-making process of why you're choosing to remain or why you're walking away, and will help you to really unravel or uncover what's at the bottom of that and helps you to make a better decision. In what to do, right? So anyway, I hope that this was helpful for today. It was helpful for me. I don't know about you, but anyway, I thank you for watching. My name is Claudia Alexander. I invite you to visit my site, culturetherapyjazz.com. And I also invite you to join me for my next podcast, which will be my last podcast for this season 1. So I invite you to join me this Wednesday for the last week of October. And I look forward to seeing you next Saturday for the next edition of The Day Before Sunday. Take care, and thank you for listening.